Good morning, yogis. My name is Daniel. This is Daniel Lee Yoga. Thank you for joining me for practice this morning. I am in a different location this morning, so thank you all for joining me. I'm still down here in the Dominican Republic, but we just moved to a new place a couple days ago. So, with a new place comes new challenges, new opportunities. So, there will be lots of different sights and sounds here. Still trying to work out the best audio and video for this setup. So, hopefully, you can hear me. Hopefully, you can see me okay. I know there's a couple areas of the mat you might not be able to get, it might be obfuscated or you might not get the greatest detail, but I think as long as you can hear me and see most of me, you should be able to get through class okay. So yeah, thank you all so much for joining. As far as today, we have a Vinyasa-based class, 60 minutes, all levels focused. And what I'd like to do today is work on our balance and add in a little bit of twisting as well. There'd definitely be a lot of movement too. So a lot of times balance you think is focused on like a tree pose where you're just standing still and you're just trying to balance yourself. Well, there's lots of balance in movement as well. And so we'll definitely test our limits and see what we're capable of this morning. As far as props, if you have a couple blocks, you can keep them handy. I have one like speaker that's pretty substantial, so I'm going to keep that by. But if you do have two blocks, that could definitely help today. So just keep those nearby your mat. No real strap needed unless you particularly typically practice with that. As far as any other announcements, I think that's it for today. We are looking to finalize our relationship with a local nonprofit down here to raise money for funds. I know a couple of you have been asking where you can donate for class, and hopefully after this week, we'll finalize that the arrangement we have with this other local nonprofit down here. So stay tuned for that. But otherwise, we're here for class. So if you're ready, even if you're not ready, we're gonna get started. So here we go. Meet me on your back with your legs extended nice and long. Allow your arms to fall down by your sides, palms face up. Let your knees and your feet fall out to the side. Resting your shoulders and the back of your head on the mat. Let's allow ourselves the opportunity to transition into our practice this morning. I know where I'm at, a little bit farther south, it's definitely still warm down here. It's close to 75 or 80 degrees typically every day. And the last place I was living before here was Baltimore, so a couple of friends have let me know that today, Wednesday, the 16th of December, it's supposed to snow around the DC, Baltimore, Pennsylvania area. So perhaps you're waking up to some snow, some mix. Maybe you've gone out to the store last night to stock up for the snow that's coming later today. But in addition to giving you a nice practice you can look forward to and get through the week and through the rest of your day, hopefully I can bring some warm vibes back up to the area, back up to the States. So with that, we'll begin warming up our bodies soon through our movements. But for now, just allow yourself to breathe here. Noticing your inhales and your exhales. Starting with how the breath flows in through your body. Perhaps it enters through the nose or through the mouth. And when you exhale, noticing how the air leaves your body. Maybe it slowly flows out through your nostrils or through your mouth. And now bring some awareness to the length of your inhales versus your exhales. Perhaps one might be longer than the other. You might be right around the same rate. But know that when times get tough, either in your yoga class or in life, your breath is always there for you. It can help you calm your nerves, ease your stress, or just give you time and opportunity to think. So just take a couple more deep breaths here. Last breath. And now, if your eyes were softened or closed, you can gently blink your eyes open. And start by bending your knees and draw those knees into your chest. Wrapping your hands around your shins, let's give those knees a gentle squeeze. And gently start to rock from side to side, getting to bring some movement into that low back area. All right, coming back to stillness, keep hugging your right leg in. Let's re-extend that left leg straight out. Time bring the left heel to the mat. Flex those left toes, draw them back toward your face, and spin that inner left thigh in and down towards the mat. Keep the back of your head and your shoulders on the mat, holding for one more breath. And exhale, let's switch. Draw the left knee in, extend and straighten the right leg straight out, releasing the right heel down to the mat. So with the right toes flexed, they draw back towards your face. Spin those inner right thigh in and down towards the mat. It keeps the knee facing up towards the sky. One last breath here. And exhale will switch and move on the breath. So extend your left leg on your exhale. And on your inhale, extend your right leg. So keep moving back and forth on your breath. Just beginning to, again, wake up the body. Now we're blood to flow through the legs. Adding a little bit of the arms just to add a little more of a stretch here, but just keep moving back and forth on your breath. Your pace might be a little slower or a little bit faster than mine. Just listen to your body here. All right, the next time your right leg is into your chest, stay here. So right leg, right knee draws in. Left leg extends out nice and long. So keep flexing that left foot with the left heel on the mat. Left toes draw back toward your face. Now extend your left arm out to the side, palm faces up. Hi, Coney. Bring your right knee above your right hip, right shin, parallel to the mat. Flex those right toes now. Just keep your right hand on that right knee. We're adding a small twist just for a moment here. Hi, Coney. So take an inhale to prepare. Exhale, let that right knee fall over to the left. Let's inhale back to center. Do that one more time. Exhale, knee off to the left. Inhale back to center. And let's draw both knees in and switch. So with the left knee drawn in, re-extend that right leg straight out, right heel to the mat. This time extend your right arm out, palm faces up. Left knee above that left hip, left shin parallel to the mat, flexing both toes. Take an inhale to prepare. Exhale, left knee to the right side. Inhaling back to center. And exhale, knee to the right. Inhale back to center, stay here. Draw both knees back in. Gentle squeeze. Just wanted to add a little bit of a twist here. Just stay here with your knees hugged in. All right, coming up to a seat. So you can put one ankle on top of the other, hold on to the backs of your thighs. If you like to roll up and down your spine, you can gently tuck your chin and use some momentum to roll up and down your spine a couple times. Eventually coming up to a seat. either to a cross-legged seat or whatever seat you prefer. You can sit on your knees in Virasana. Maybe you place a block in between your ankles. Just choose whatever seat works for you this morning. Oh, hi, Ellen. Thank you for checking in. Good morning to you as well. Always great to see your name pop up there. All right. Whatever seat you choose, make sure your sit bones are nice and rooted, nice long spine. So press down through your seat, rise up through the crown of your head, soften the shoulders away from the ears. Just rest your palms on tops of your knees or on tops of your thighs, whatever seat you choose here. Take a nice deep inhale and exhale, bringing some movement into the neck. So start by dropping your chin down and start rolling your neck out nice and slowly. So bring your right ear to your right shoulder. Gently drop your head back as you come through center, looking up. Left ear, left shoulder, dropping your chin back to center. Let's do that one more time this side. Right ear, right shoulder, gently dropping your head back, gazing up, coming through center, left ear, left shoulder, and chin down to chest. Stay here. Let's move the opposite direction. So now left ear, left shoulder, gently dropping the head back as you gaze up, coming through center, right ear, right shoulder, dropping the chin down. Through center one more time this way. Just bringing some movement into the neck here. Just be nice and gentle. Be honest with your own capabilities here. Stopping back in center with your chin to your chest. And now raise your gaze back up. Soften your shoulders back down. And let's switch whichever shin is on top. If your legs are crossed, if you're just sitting in Virasana, you can stay there. Now, we rolled out the neck a little bit. Let's see. Let's roll out the shoulders. Okay, so keeping your palms on tops of your knees. Take a nice deep inhale as you draw your shoulders up to your ears. And exhale, just let it go. So inhale, bring the shoulders up to the ears. Exhale, release. Three more times. Inhale, shoulders to ears. Exhale, release. Two more times. Inhale, raise them up. Exhale, release. Last time. Inhale, raising them up. Exhale, release. Well done. Working the wrist. Clasp the fingertips together. Bring the base of the wrist together. Elbows towards each other. Start to roll out in your figure eight or your infinity symbol. So gentle clasp of the fingers, but make sure they're intersected. Starting in your first direction. Begin to slow. Let's move in the opposite direction. And gently slow. Release. Remember which thumb is on top. Re-intersect your fingers. Opposite thumb on top. If you don't remember, it's probably the way that feels the most weird. So bringing your wrists and elbows towards each other. Start to roll in your first direction again. Slow it down. Let's move in the opposite direction. And gently slow, release the clasp of your fingers, arms out down to the sides. Moving into tabletop, you can either come forward over your knees or send your legs off to the side. Let's all meet in our tabletop. Wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, tops of the feet to the mat. Really draw your navel in and up here. Chin is slightly tucked, gaze towards the top of your mat. You have a gentle press of the tops of the feet and the shins into the mat. Really firm these outer upper arms in so the elbow creases start to face forward. Take a nice deep inhale. And exhale, moving into our cow cat, starting with our cow. Drop the navel, tailbone lifts, heart forward, look up on your inhale. Exhale, reverse, rounding your back, shoulders separate, head hangs heavy, cat pose. Moving through your breath, so on your inhale, coming through cow, sending your heart forward. And on your exhale, really rounding your back, drawing that navel in and up. Keep moving on your breath. So even though you're dropping your belly down, you're still drawing your navel up on your cow. And on your exhale, rounding, letting your shoulders separate. Let's do that 2 or 3 more times, moving on your breath through your cow cats here. Remember to be honest with your body, moving at your gentle pace here. All right, meeting back in tabletop after your last cat pose. And we'll gently send our hips to our heels, child's pose. Extend your arms out nice and long. Release your forehead down to the mat or to a block. If it doesn't quite reach, you can lift your hips up off your heels a little bit. Just allow yourself to move towards ease here in this pose. Take one more deep breath here. All right, inhale as you lift yourself back up into tabletop. And right from tabletop, we'll come into our cow pose. So drop the navel, tailbone, lift, heart forward, look up. Now keep your hands right where they are. As you round your back, you'll send your hips back towards your heels in this modified balasana child pose, cat pose. So inhale, come back into your cow, very traditional cow pose here. But on your exhale, you keep your arms straight, send your hips back to your heels, round your back, tuck your chin. So let's keep moving through that. Inhale through your cow, shoulders over wrists. Exhale, keep the arms straight, send the hips back to the heels, round the back, cat pose. Let's do that 2 more times. So inhaling forward, cow. Exhaling through cat. Just another way to add some more momentum here to our cow cats. Last time here, inhaling through our cow. And exhaling through our modified cat child's pose. Then move into your full child's pose one last time. Hips to your heels, walk your hands out. Again, release your forehead down to the mat. Take a couple nice deep breaths here. Knowing that child's pose is always an option for you in practice. You may need some time to regroup, reconnect to your breath. Know that child's pose is always here for you. Take one more nice deep inhale. And exhale, lifting back up to tabletop. Shoulders over wrists. Step your right foot back, step your left foot back. Plank pose. From plank pose, lift your hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Our first downward facing dog of the day, so let's pedal out our legs. Maybe you lift one heel, lift the other. You can always lift one leg and lift the other as well. Always have the option to drop down to your knees, and you can pedal out your legs here as well. Know that is anytime in practice, if down dog is too much, just drop down to your tabletop or come right into child's pose. All right, let's all meet back in stillness in our down dog. Arms are shoulder width distance apart, feet are hips width distance. Really press back down through those heels. And now on your inhale, gaze forward. Bend your knees. Exhale, walk or step towards the top of your mat. Feet hips width distance, stay in your forward fold. Grab opposite elbows with your feet nice and parallel, heels behind the center toes. Let your head hang heavy here. Ragdoll pose. So the crown of your head draws down towards the mat as your hips draw up towards the sky. Knees can bend as much as you'd like. You can even rest your chest on top of your thighs. Slowly start to rock side to side if you like to bring some movement here in your ragdoll. Otherwise, stay right in the center. All right, switch whichever forearm is on top, clasping both elbows, and keep swaying from side to side if you'd like. All right, coming back to stillness in the center, release your arms down. Come up to standing, but nice and slowly. So press down through your feet, spin the inner thighs in and back. And as you start to lift up, stacking one vertebrae at a time, nice and slowly, beginning to straighten your legs. Taking your time to raise up to standing. Once you're up, let's lift the arms up overhead, palms face each other. And exhale, hands down through center, down to the sides. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, hands down through center and down to the sides. Take a nice deep inhale. And exhale. Just checking in with our Tadasana. Make sure your feet are hips width distance, heels behind those center toes, arms down to the sides. Try to draw your tailbone down, lifting those frontal hip points up. And even here, spinning the inner thighs in and back. Imagine you have a block in between your thighs and you're trying to shoot it back behind you. Softening the shoulders away from the ears, broadening through those collarbones. Take one more nice deep inhale. And exhale, adding some movement. Press down through your feet. Inhale, bring the arms up overhead, palms face each other. Exhale, hinge forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to the shins, nice flat back. And exhale, forward fold. Press down through your feet, back up to standing. Inhale, arms out and up overhead. Exhale, hands down through the center one more time. Inhale, bring the arms up overhead. Exhale, hinge forward, forward fold. Inhale, lifting halfway. And exhale, forward fold. Press down through your feet. Inhale, come back up to standing, arms out and up overhead. Exhale, hands down through center, adding on. Inhale, bring the arms up overhead. Exhale, hinge forward, forward fold. Inhale, lifting halfway. And exhale, forward fold. Stay low this time. Plant your palms. Step your right foot back. Step your left foot back into your plank pose. Shoulders over wrists. We'll drop our knees down. Keep the toes curled. Again, firm those outer arms in. Elbow creases face forward. Take an inhale as you shift forward. Bend the elbows back. Lower all the way to the mat in one piece. Once you lower, bring the tops of your feet to the mat. Press your feet down, hips down. Inhale as you lift your head up, chest up. Baby cobra. Exhale, gently release. Keep the knees down, toe the curl the toes. Press down through your hands, lift up into your knees down plank pose. With the toes curled, lift the hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Stay in your down dog for 3 or 4 breaths here. Knowing that those couple of poses we just strung together is our Vinyasa sequence. So knowing that if you prefer any other way to move through your Vinyasa, you're welcome to take that today. I'll move through a couple options as we go through practice. Take one more nice deep inhale here, pressing your chest back to your thighs. And exhale. All right. Inhale as you gaze forward. Bend your knees. Exhale, walk or step to the top of the mat. Inhale, lifting halfway. And exhale, forward fold. Press down through your feet. Inhale, raise the arms out and up overhead. Exhale, hands down through center, down to the sides. Take a breath before we repeat. All right, press down through your feet. Inhale, bring the arms back up overhead. Exhale, hinge forward, forward fold. Inhale, lifting halfway. And exhale, forward fold. Plant your palms, step your right foot back, step your left foot back. Drop your knees down, shift forward, bend the elbows back, lower all the way to the mat, slow and controlled. Tops of the feet, press down. Press your hips down. Inhale, lift the head up, chest up, baby cobra. Exhale, gently release. Keep the knees down, toes curled. Press yourself up and back to downward facing dog, coming through your knees down plank pose first if you need to. Holding for 2 breaths here. Really firm those outer upper arms in, pressing down to the base of each finger and each palm. Heels draw back and down. Hold for 1 more breath. Inhale as you gaze forward. Bend the knees. Exhale, walk or step to the top of the mat. Inhale, lifting halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Press down through your feet. Inhale, raise the arms out and up overhead. And exhale, hands down through center and down to the sides. Take a nice deep inhale. And exhale. All right, let's face the long edge side of our mat. Come into a wide-legged stance. So it's like you're starting in Tadasana and you're moving your legs apart so you keep your feet nice and parallel, heels behind those center toes. Bring your hands to your hips to start. Draw your tailbone down, lift these frontal hip points up. Take a nice deep inhale and exhale. Moving into our warrior poses here. So starting with the right leg, externally rotate. So the right toes face the short edge side of your mat. Slightly internally rotate this back leg so the toes draw in just a tiny bit. Looking for that heel to arch alignment. Squaring the shoulders with the long edge side of your mat. Bend that right knee over the right ankle and extend the arms out to a T, palms face down, shoulder height. Turn your neck to look over those right fingertips. Take a nice deep inhale. And exhale, bringing some movement. So on your inhale, raise the arms up overhead, straighten that front leg. Exhale, rebend, warrior 2. 3 more times. Inhale, straighten. Exhale. exhale, warrior two. Two more times. As you inhale, lift out of the hips. Exhale, rebend, warrior two. One more time. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, rebend, warrior two. Bring your hands back to your hips, straighten that front leg, and re-parallel your feet back to where we started, wide-legged stance. Moving to the other side, so starting with this left leg, externally rotate so the left toes face the short edge side. Slight internal rotation of this back leg. Look for that heel to arch alignment, squaring the shoulders to the long edge side of your mat. Bending the left knee over the left ankle, and extending your arms out to a T, palms face down. Turn your neck to look over those left fingertips. Soften the shoulders away from the ears. Here we go. Inhale, straighten the front leg. Bring both arms overhead. Exhale, rebend. Warrior two. Three more times. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, warrior two. Two more times. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, warrior two. Once more. Inhale, straighten. And exhale, warrior two. Bring your hands back to your hips. Begin to straighten that front leg. Parallel your feet back to where we started. And we're adding a forward fold here, but you have a couple options for your arms. You can keep your hands at your hips, or you can grab opposite elbows behind your back. Now, if you're grabbing opposite elbows, most likely your chest is puffing out. So draw your navel in and back, draw the tailbone down, lift those frontal hip points up. Really roll and open the shoulders up and back. Take a nice deep inhale to prepare wherever you are, slight back bend, and exhale, hinge forward. Really press your feet down into the mat. Draw the outer thighs in towards the midline, shifting weight more into the toes. Once you've lowered about halfway, if your hands are to your hips and you want to release them to the mat, place them underneath your shoulders, either to the mat or to the blocks. Fingers forward, wrist back. Otherwise, keep clasping the elbows behind your back. And again, start shifting more weight into the toes. Wherever you are, you can have a slight tuck in the chin, crown of the head draws down towards the mat. Holding here for one more breath. And we'll all inhale as we lift halfway. Bring your hands, if they're underneath you, back underneath your shoulders. Slight bend in the knees. Everyone bring your hands to your hips, and on your inhale, lift yourself back up, torso back up. With your hands at your hips, let's heel toe those feet back into hips width distance, and come back to the top of your mat. All right, at the top, arms down to the side, feet nice and parallel. Take a nice deep inhale, and exhale. Press down through your feet. Inhale, raise the arms out and up overhead, palms face each other. Exhale, hinge forward, forward fold. Inhale, lifting halfway. And exhale, forward fold. So stay low, plant your palms either to the mat or to the blocks. Keep your left foot forward, step your right leg back. Drop your right knee down to the mat. Now, staying here in this low lunge with our knee down. Want our left shoulder, left elbow area to be very close to our left knee. This is where if you have your blocks, you can have them at the ready on either side. Adding some movement here. So we'll inhale as we shift our hips back, bringing the left toes off the mat, and exhale, come back into your low lunge. So inhale, shifting back, try to keep your armpit next to your left knee. So left armpit, left knee. So we're shifting back on our inhale. Exhale, forward. Even though you're keeping that contact, keep moving, your heart is still drawing forward. As you're moving here, keep drawing the outer left hip back and the right thigh forward. Let's do this one more time. Inhale as we come forward. Exhale back, drawing the left toes off the mat. And then come back forward into your low lunge. With the right toes curled under, lift the right knee up. Send the left foot to meet the back foot in your plank pose. Knees down or up as you shift forward. Bend your elbows, lower all the way to the mat. Coming through our vinyasa. Tops of the feet down, press your hips down. Inhale, lifting into your back bend. Draw the elbows in, ankles in. Exhale, gently release the knees down. Curl the toes under. Lift up and back into down dog. Come through plank pose first if you need to. Holding for 3 breaths here in your down dog. Again, through our vinyasa, you can always skip it and come right into your down dog or move into your tabletop or child's pose. Just let your head hang heavy in your down dog, holding for one more breath. And now inhale as you gaze forward. Bend your knees. Exhale, walk or step to the top of the mat. Feet hips width distance. Inhale, lifting halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Stay low. Plant your palms. This time, right foot forward, left foot back. Once your left foot drops back, drop your left knee down. Again, those back toes can be curled or uncurled, whatever you prefer, and arms can either be down to the mat or to a block. Try to keep this right armpit close on top of this right knee. And we'll inhale as we shift back, bringing the right toes off the mat. Exhale, hinge forward. So keep moving on your breath. Inhaling, shifting back, toes draw up off the mat. Exhale, shift forward. Keep going. Go 3 or 4 more times. Allowing ourselves to move with our breath. Really great way. You should definitely feel this in the bottom of your right leg, right hamstring area. Let's add one more here. So inhale as we come back. Exhale, hinge forward. Stay low in your lunge. Curl the left toes under, lift the left knee up. Send the right foot to meet the back foot. Knees down or up as you shift forward through your vinyasa, lowering all the way, tops of the feet down. Inhale, back bend. Elbows draw in, ankles draw in. Exhale as you gently release. Curling the toes under, lifting up and back, downward facing dog. You can stay in your down dog for 3 breaths. Keep pressing your chest back to your thighs. And always an option to drop down to your knees. Keep firming those outer upper arms in, pressing down through the base of each finger and each palm. Hold for one more breath. All right, inhale as we gaze forward. Bend the knees. Exhale, walk or step to the top of the mat. Inhale, lifting halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Press down through your feet. Inhale, raise the arms out and up overhead. And exhale, hands down through center, down to the sides. Take a nice deep inhale. And exhale. Moving on. Press down through your feet. Inhale, bring the arms back up overhead. Exhale, hinge forward, forward fold. Inhale, lifting halfway, nice long spine. Exhale, forward fold. Same thing. Plant your hands to the block or to the ground. Keep your left foot forward. Step your right leg back. This time we'll keep the back knee up. If that's too much for you, you can keep your knee down and repeat just what we did. Otherwise, we're moving on. So with the knee up, press down through your feet, and inhale as you lift the arms up, torso up. And bring your hands to your hips. Notice make sure your left foot is on the left side of the mat, right foot is on the right side. The farther away your legs are, the more stable you'll be. So if you feel like you're a little unstable here, maybe separate your legs out wider. Now, from here, with our left knee still bent over our left ankle, draw the tailbone down, lift the frontal hip points up. Again, if this is too much, just repeat with the knee down, just what we did. From here, we'll inhale as we straighten the front leg, lift out of your hips so both legs are straight. Exhale, rebend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, rebend. Keep moving on your breath. So both toes are facing forward. That back heel is lifted, but it's pressing back and down to straighten that back leg. Exhale, bend. Let's do one more here. Inhale, straighten. And exhale, bend. From here, let's inhale as we lift the arms back up overhead. And exhale, spiral both arms forward and down to either side of that left foot. If your knee is down, lift that right knee up, curl the right toes, send the left foot to meet the back foot, vinyasa through your way. Knees down or up as you shift forward. Lower halfway or all the way down, lifting into your back bend, baby cobra or upward facing dog. Curling the toes, lifting the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Hold for 2 breaths here. Keep pressing the chest back towards the thighs, lifting the hips up and back towards the sky. One more breath. Inhale as you gaze forward. Bend your knees. Exhale, walk your step to the top of the mat. Feet hips width distance. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Other side. So keep the right foot forward. Step the left foot back. Again, opportunity to repeat what we did in the first sequence. Otherwise, with that left foot back, you'll lift the left knee off the mat. Keep those left toes curled under. Press down through your feet. Inhale, raise the arms up overhead. And bring your hands down to your hips. Before we start moving, with that right knee bent, still draw your tailbone down. Lift those frontal hip points up. Really lift out of your hips here. Nice long spine. Draw the right hip back, left hip forward, and we'll move. Inhale as we straighten that front leg. Exhale, rebend. 3 more times. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. This is a balancing act here. I know it is. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. One last time. Inhale, straighten. And exhale, bend. Stay here. Let's inhale as we bring the arms up overhead. Exhale, spiral both arms forward and down. If that left knee is down, lift it up. Curl the left toes under, send the right foot to meet the back foot. Vinyasa through your way, or meet us right in down dog. Inhaling through your back bend. Exhale, curl the toes. Lift your hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Let's stay here just for a breath. Take a nice deep inhale. And exhale. Inhale as you gaze forward. Bend your knees. Exhale, walk or step to the top of the mat. Feet hips width distance. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Press down through the feet. Inhale, raise the arms out and up overhead. And exhale, hands down through center and down to the sides. Take a nice deep inhale. And exhale. Staying here for a breath. Just notice what you've built so far. Already trying to stabilize. Maybe you're still waking up. All right. Let's come back to face the long edge side of our mat. Back in our wide-legged stance. Feet are nice and parallel. Place your hands at your hips to start. Heels behind those center toes. Toes facing forward. Now, moving through our warrior two pose, but adding a little bit onto it. So starting with the right leg, externally rotate, right toes face the short edge side. Slight internal rotation of this back leg. Heel to arch alignment, bend the right knee over the right ankle, square the shoulders to the long edge side of your mat. Extend the arms out to a T shape, palms face down. Shoulders soften away from the ears, and gaze comes over those right fingertips. Really press down through that right heel, and press back to the outer edge of that left heel. Really firm this front thigh in and under. Hold for one more breath. Now, keep the upper body just as it is. Straighten the front leg. So, we're straightening the front leg. Really lift out of the hips here, adding our triangle pose. Before we move, make sure your block is near, just in case you want to use it. Place it to the inside or outside of that front foot. So with both legs straightened, shoulders square to the long edge side, really press down through the ball of that big toe. Send your hips back as your right arm draws forward. So opposite directions here. When that right arm can't go any further, drop those right fingertips either to your block, to the shin. This left hand can either come to your left hip, or you can raise the left fingertips up to the sky. Triangle pose, Trikonasana. So again, really press down through that right big toe. Draw this right kneecap up to your hip. Keep firming this outer thigh in and under, and open and broaden the collarbones. Try to rotate that left pinky forward so the palm faces forward, the short edge side of your mat. And maybe you turn your neck to look up at those fingertips. Holding for one more breath here. All right, release the left hand to your left hip, slight bend in that front knee. Both hands to your hips as you lift your torso back up. And with the both legs straightened, re-parallel your feet to face the long edge side of your mat, back to where we started. Okay, so again, if you're using your prop, place it towards the left side of your mat, towards your left foot. We'll switch to the other side. So, externally rotate this left foot, slight internal rotation of the back leg, bend the left knee over the left ankle, heel to arch alignment, shoulders squared with the long edge side, extend the arms out, nice and long, T-shaped, palms face down. And then turn your neck to look over those left fingertips. Really press down through the left heel here, firm the outer thigh in and under, and press back through the outer edge of that right foot. Keep softening the shoulders away from the ears. Take a nice deep inhale and exhale. Again, keep the upper body just as it is, straighten the front leg. Start pressing down through the ball of the big toe in that front foot. Send the hips back and the left arm forward. Release the left arm down, either to your shin or to your block. Right hand to your right hip or up to the sky, fingertips raised. Try to stack your shoulders on top of each other. You gotta press down through the ball of that left big toe. Draw this left kneecap up to your hips and press back to the outer edge of that right foot. You're still firming this outer thigh in and under. And maybe you start to rotate that pinky side edge forward so the palm faces forward. Opportunity to rotate the neck to look up at those fingertips. Really roll these left ribs under, open the right wrist out to the sky. One more breath here. Now release the right hand to the right hip. Both hands to the hip, slight bend in that front knee. Lift your torso back up and re-parallel your feet. All right, coming into our goddess pose. So with your legs still wide, turn your ankles in and your toes out. Bring your hands to your hips. Take a nice deep inhale. Exhale, bend the knees. So knees over ankles, dropping down into your goddess pose. So you might only slightly bend your knees here. You might be a little bit lower. And you have the option for your hands. Either keep them at your hips, maybe extend them out to a T or a field goal post. You can also clasp opposite elbows behind your back. Wherever you are, draw your tailbone down, lift those frontal hip points up, and let's gently flow from side to side here. So again, it's really easy to let your chest sink and your tailbone to draw back, but we really want the tailbone to draw down, lifting these frontal hip points up, so really keeping the core engaged here. All right, coming back to center in your goddess pose, keep whatever bind you have with your hands. Let's press down through the right toes, lift the right heel up, lower that right heel down, lift the left heel up, lift the left heel down, opportunity to lift both heels up, adding a little balance here. Take a nice deep inhale and exhale, gently release. All right, from here, release whatever clasps of the hands you have, bring them back to your hips, and begin to straighten your legs. Heel toe the feet back in closer to each other. We still want them slightly wide apart, about shoulder width, moving into Malasana pose. So heels are slightly in, toes are slightly out. Now with your hands at your hips, take a nice deep inhale. And exhale, start to bend your knees, lower your hips down into your Malasana pose. This is where if you have a block, you can place it back behind you for a seat, or you settle down into your pose. Now, once you've lowered down, bring your palms together, thumbs to the sternum. Make sure these triceps are to the inside edge of your knees. And again, if you can't lower all the way, you can stay up about halfway, or you can lower down onto a block for stability. Adding a little bit of a twist here. So extend your left arm down to the ground or to the mat, fingertips touch, and right arm up to the sky. So again, keep that tricep to knee connection and raise the right fingertips up to the sky. Really open the chest out, holding for one more breath. And exhale, gently release back into your Malasana. Take a nice deep inhale and exhale. All right, extend the right fingertips down, arm nice and long. Left fingertips up to the sky, add your twist. Again, twist from that navel first, and maybe you turn the neck to look up at those left fingertips. Holding for just one more breath here. And exhale, gently release back into your Malasana. Now, be nice and gentle here. Release your arms behind you, and you'll lower your hips back down to the mat. And extending your legs out nice and long to start. So if you're facing the long edge side, you can turn to face the short edge side. And with your knees still bent, you'll clasp your palms behind your thighs. Keep your heels on the mat and start to flex the toes up towards your face. Adding a Navasana boat pose, a nice fun balance pose here. Start with a nice long spine, root down through your sit bones, rise up through the crown of the head. Imagine there's a string at the center of your chest, and we'll move through our options. So first option, just hover the heels just an inch or two off the mat. Next option, bring the shins up parallel to the mat. If you'd like, you can extend the arms forward, palms face up. And final option, extend the legs long, maybe point the toes. Whatever option you do, try not to sacrifice. We don't want to round our back here. So if we feel like you're rounding, maybe back off one option. Keep softening the shoulders away from the ears. Again, there's a string at the center of your chest, and it's lifting you up towards the sky. Hold for one more breath, and exhale, gently release. All right, from here, arms to the sides. We'll cross our legs, send the arms forward. Maybe you come on top of your knees, rolling over into your tabletop. Extend your right leg back, extend your left leg back. Lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. From your down dog, let's lift the right leg up and back to hip height. Exhale, draw the right knee into your chest, step the right foot up to the top of the mat. Now, from here, press down through the feet. Inhale, lift the arms out and up overhead. Again, settle in here. Make sure the feet are in their own lanes. Right foot on the right side, left foot on the left side. Now bring your hands down to the center of your chest. Take a nice deep inhale to prepare. Exhale, shift forward 45 degrees. Take one more inhale. Exhale, as you shift forward this time, lift the back leg up off the mat, warrior three. Lowering your torso halfway down, parallel to the mat. Left leg draws up, thigh to hip height. Flex those back toes so they face down towards the mat. Really firm this outer thigh in and under. Holding for one more breath. Now, start to lift your torso up, draw the left knee up into your chest. So we're still balancing here. Lower this left hip down, really firm this outer right hip in. With the hands to the center of your chest, take a nice deep inhale and exhale. All right, if this is enough for a balance for you, you can stay right here. Otherwise, extend your right arm forward, rotate your arm so the thumb is down, the pinky is up, and then place that right hand to the outer edge of that left knee. Again, if this is enough for you, stay right here. Otherwise, we'll add a twist. So if you're twisting, really press down through that right heel. Inhale as you send your left arm up to the sky. And exhale, twist and open to the left side. So twisting over that left knee. Left arm comes shoulder height, palm faces away. Now your hips are still squared forward. We're just turning from the navel up. Final option is to turn your neck to look over those left fingertips. If you'd like, you can take the full variation where this right hand grabs the outside edge of that left foot and you straighten that leg, really pressing out through the heel. Wherever you are, press down through that right heel from that outer right thigh in, holding for one more breath. And exhale, gently release, come back to center, keep that left knee up, bring both arms overhead, and exhale, hands down through center, release that left foot down. Shake it out a little bit. I know that was tough. Take a nice deep inhale and exhale. Make sure your feet are hips width distance, arms down to the side, working the other side. Let's inhale, bring the arms up overhead. Exhale, hinge forward, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. And exhale, forward fold. Vinyasa through. Step your right foot back, left foot back. Knees down or up as you shift forward, lower to the mat. Inhale as you lift into your back bend. And exhale, curl the toes up and back, downward facing dog. Let's lift the left leg up and back to hip height. Flex the toes, knees and the toes face down. Draw the left knee into your chest. Step the left foot up to the top of the mat. Again, settle in. Make sure your right foot's on the right side, left is on the left side. Press down through your feet. Inhale, bring the arms up overhead. With the arms up, make sure that left knee is over the left ankle. Draw the left hip back, right hip forward. So both toes are facing forward. That right heel is lifted, but you're pressing back through the right heel. Now bring your hands to the center of your chest. Take an inhale as you shift forward and exhale. One more inhale to prepare. And exhale, shift forward, warrior three. Lift the back leg up to hip height, lowering the chest to parallel to the mat. Back foot is flexed, so toes face down. Really firm this outer left thigh in. See if you can lift that back leg a little higher. Hold for one more breath. And now we're staying up. We're lifting our torso up, lifting our right knee into our chest. Tough transition, I know. You got it, though. And if you fall out, just come right back in. So stay here if this is enough for you with your right knee up to hip height. Otherwise, we'll add on. So send the left arm forward. Rotate so the thumb is down, pinky is up. And place the palm to the outside of that right knee. Stay here again if this is enough for you, otherwise we'll add the right arm. So inhale, bring the right arm up overhead, and exhale, twist to the right, opening the chest. Right arm is parallel to the shoulder, palm faces out. Maybe you turn your neck to start looking over those right fingertips. Wherever you are, press down through that left heel, really firm that outer left thigh in. And if you like, take the full variation. Left arm grabs the outside of that left foot. Extend and straighten that left foot forward. And keep the hips facing forward. We're turning just from the navel up. Holding for one more breath. And exhale, gently release. Come back to center. Keep that knee up for just a breath. And exhale, release the hands down through center. Release the leg down. Shake that out. All right, well done. Let's all all right, let's meet in our child's pose. So coming down to your mat, knees together or separate, big toes touch if you'd like. Sending your hips down to your heels. Forehead to the mat, your option with your arms either extended straight out nice and long, or bring the wrists back beside the ankles, palms face up. Allow yourself to just soak in what you built here. Maybe you tried something new, maybe you fell out of a pose, but you got right back into it. Maybe you just moved and connected to your breath. Just allow yourself to feel. One more breath here in our Balasana. All right, begin to lift your forehead up, lift your shoulders up, extend the arms out nice and long, lifting your hips up off your heels, and adding a stretch here. So coming into tabletop. Now extend the left arm out to the side, palm faces down. Let's inhale, bring the left fingertips up to the sky. And exhale, send that left arm underneath. We'll gently lower the left shoulder down to the mat and release the side of the left side of the head down to the mat. If it doesn't quite reach, you can place a block underneath. Just make sure you're nice and stable here. So back of the left hand is to the mat. The right side of your mat, palm faces up. If you'd like, you can walk these right fingertips out. Just allow a little bit of a stretch here. Keeping your hips over your knees. So if you feel like you're swaying from side to side, try to keep them nice and stacked to keep yourself stable. Just hold for one more breath. Let's place that right hand back underneath the right shoulder. Press down through the hand, lift the left fingertips back up to the sky. And exhale, gently release back into your tabletop. We'll switch to the other side. So this time, right arm draws out to the side, palm faces down. Inhale, right fingertips to the sky. Exhale, send that right arm underneath. Back of the right hand to the mat. Lower the right side of your head to the mat. Always have the option to walk those left fingertips out. Just make sure you're nice and settled here. Keeping your hips over your knees. Just hold for one more breath. All right, left hand back underneath that shoulder. Raise the right arm out, fingertips to the sky. And exhale, gently release back into your tabletop. All right, send your legs off to the side. Come down into a seat. And with your knees bent, use your hands to send your hips up closer to your heels. Grab onto your shins or your thighs and gently lower onto your backs. From here, we'll draw the knees into our chest just for a gentle squeeze. And then keep the knees bent, we'll lower the bottom to the feet back down to the mat. 2 back bends here. So with the arms down to the sides, make sure your ankles are underneath your knees. Both knees and feet are hips width distance. Press down through your feet. Take a nice deep inhale. Exhale, lift the hips up, pelvis up, chest up, bridge pose. Maybe you start to roll your triceps under, but wherever you are, really press down through your feet. Draw the tailbone towards the backs of the knees. Spin the inner thighs in and down to keep the knees, hips width distance. Holding here for one more breath. And exhale, gently release from the top of your spine, middle of the back, low back is the last to arrive. Knees together, feet out to the width of the mat. Stay here for a couple breaths. Now, option for one more back bend. If you prefer another back bend, you can move into wheel. Otherwise, we'll add a bridge pose with our arms bound underneath our back. If you have a block or a prop, you can also place that underneath your sacrum in a more supported bridge pose. So choose what option works for you. Let's separate our knees and our feet back to hips width distance, ankles underneath the knees, arms down to the side. If you're moving into wheel pose, go right into it. Otherwise, take a nice deep inhale to prepare. Press down through your feet and lift your hips up, pelvis up, chest up, bridge pose. If you're adding your block to make this more restorative, place it underneath your sacrum. It's below your low back. Otherwise, if you're coming with me, we'll bind our arms underneath our back. So begin by rolling the triceps under, interlacing the fingers underneath the back, bringing the wrist to touch, then straightening the arms. Try to draw the pinky side edge of the fingertips down towards the mat, and maybe you roll those triceps under a little more, really opening the shoulders. Wherever you are, press down through the feet, spin those inner thighs in and down, and keep drawing the tailbone towards the backs of the heels. Backs of the knees. Last breath here. And if your arms are clasped, gently release them out to the side. Release your block, gently lower from the top of your spine. Middle of the back, low back, last to arrive. We'll all meet on our backs with their knees touching. Separate your feet out to the width of the mat. Constructive rest here. Extend your arms nice and long, palms face up. Let's gently let our knees rock from side to side. All right, come back to stillness. Keep your knees bent. Separate them back to hips width distance. This time, keep your left foot down. Draw your right knee into your chest. Open the right knee out to the side. Place the right ankle to the left knee. Adding a twist here. So take a nice deep inhale to prepare. And exhale, left knee, right foot drops off to the left. So try to keep your arms nice and long to a T shape, palms face up. Just a little modification on our twist here in our figure four posture. So the right knee should still be facing up towards the sky. Bottom of the right foot down to the mat. Maybe the left knee drops down. If your right shoulder pops up off the mat, try to reroute your right shoulder back down. You can always place a block underneath your knee or your foot. Option to turn your neck to look over those right fingertips. Let's hold for 2 deep breaths here. One last breath. All right, gaze comes back up towards the sky. Let's lift the knee back up. Release the ankle from on top of the knee. Bottom of the right foot back down to the mat. Switch to the other side. So left knee draws in. Left ankle to right knee. With your arms out to a T, palms face up. Take a nice deep inhale to prepare. And exhale, drop to the right. Foot and knee drop off to the right side. Might feel a little bit different this side. Again, you can always place a block or a prop underneath your knee or your foot, but try to keep your left shoulder rooted. Final option to turn your neck to look over those left fingertips. Stay for 2 slow, deep breaths. Last breath here. All right, turn your neck to look back up towards the sky. Lift the knees back up, separate the ankle from the knee. Let's draw the knees back into your chest. Wrap your hands around your shins or your thighs. Let's lift the shoulders and the back of the head off the mat. Come into a nice egg shape. Squeeze everything together here. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And exhale, release. Extend the legs long. Extend the arms long overhead. We'll point the toes away from the body. Extend the fingertips nice and long. Stretch, stretch, stretch. And exhale, release. Arms down to the sides. Palms face up. Let the knees and the feet fall out to the side. Shoulders soften. Body's heavy. Settle into your final pose of your practice here, Shavasana. If you prefer any variation, perhaps with the bottoms of your feet together, knees out wide, or placing props or blanket underneath your knees. Whatever option you choose, just know this is a time to release. Softening any last little bits of tension that may be in your body. Just letting yourself melt into the mat here. Always have the opportunity to soften your gaze or close your eyes completely. And finally, just releasing any control over your breath. Just be. And begin to bring some awareness back into your body. Wiggling your fingers and your toes. Rotate your wrists and your ankles. Switch directions in those rotations. And come back to stillness for one last breath here on your backs. And gently draw your knees into your chest as you roll over to one side of your body. Let your top arm rest on your bottom. Top knee rest on your bottom knee. Stay for a breath here on your side. Now try to keep your eyes softened or your gaze closed as you use your top arm to press yourself up to a comfortable cross-legged seat to complete your practice today. In your comfortable seat, you can rest your palms on tops of your knees. Palms can face up, or bring your hands into the center of your chest. Let's all take a nice deep inhale in together. Through the mouth, exhale. Thank you all for joining me for your practice today. The light and love in me acknowledges and honors the light and love in each one of you. Thank you. Peace. All right. Thank you all so much again for joining me on this morning, or if you're watching this later recorded. I really appreciate you all making class today. And thank you all for checking in. If you all ever have any questions, again, my name is Daniel with Daniel Lee Yoga. You can leave them in the chat, leave any comments, and also in the video description as other ways to follow me either on Instagram or ask me any questions there too. Yes, Ellen, thank you. I appreciate you so much. It's great having your energy here. I can feel like I can feel you through the chat. So thank you very much for checking in. Always appreciate that. Next class will be next Wednesday, same time, 7 a.m. Eastern. And again, we're still working with, oh, is that Marlena? Okay, you two are like the dynamic duo checking in. Great to see you as well. Look forward to seeing you both next time in practice again. Just appreciate you guys checking in and always great to see your names pop up. So good job for both of you. Really been following along with me in my journeys here outside the States. So thank you. I hope to continue bringing nice warm weather back to the States, back to the area, wherever you all may be. So again, I'll see you guys next time in practice. Thank you all so much for joining me. Enjoy the rest of your day and week. Take care. Stay warm. See you next time. Peace.